Hello. Today we're going to hear chapter 15 of our book, The Enchanted Wood, part of the Magic Faraway Tree series by Enid Blyton. Chapter 15, The Saucepan Man Goes to the Wrong Land. Mother and the children stared at the strange old saucepan man as he came in at the gate. He wore an extra large-sized saucepan for a hat, and as he came, he knocked two pans together and sang an odd nonsense song that went a bit like this. Two beans for a pudding, two cherries for a pie, two logs for a table, with a hi-diddle-hi-diddle-hi. And at the last hi, he banged on the door with a saucepan. Mother opened it. "Don't make so much noise," she said. "No, I haven't seen any boys," said the saucepan man, and he clashed his pans together so loudly that Mother jumped. Then he caught sight of the children and waved to them eagerly. "Oh, there you are! Moonface told me where you be living now." "Whoever is he?" said Mother in wonder. "Children, is this strange old man all right?" "Oh, yes," said Joe, hoping that Mother wouldn't ask them too many questions. "Can we take him into the garden, Mother? He makes too much noise indoors." "Oh, very well," said Mother, who wanted to get on with her washing. "Take him along." "A song," said the saucepan man obligingly. "Did you say you wanted a song, madam?" He began to sing again and crashed his pans in time to the song. "Two pigs for the pigsty, two shoes for the horse, two hats for the tigers, pink ones, of course. Hey!" The children bustled him out into the back garden. "That's a very, very silly song of yours," said Beth loudly, right into his ear. "What's it called?" "Oh, it hasn't got a name," said the saucepan man. "I make it up as I go along. It's quite easy. Every line but the last one begins with the word two. I'm sorry you think it's silly." He looked rather offended. Then suddenly he smiled again and said, "I've come to ask you all to tea in my cottage." "Oh, will Mr. What's-his-name be there?" asked Joe, who wasn't at all keen to meet him again. "Yes, you'd better all brush your hair," said the saucepan man, looking at Joe's untidy hair. "I said, will Mr. What's-his-name be there?" said Joe loudly. "Something in the air," said the saucepan man, and he looked up anxiously. "Not a thunderstorm, I hope." "No, I certainly don't mean a thunderstorm," said Joe with a groan. "Yes, we'll come. We must ask Mother first." Mother said they could go, though she still thought the old saucepan man was very loud and annoying. "Good day," she said to him as he and the children went off. He really was a most peculiar sight, but he had such a twinkly sort of face that the three children couldn't help liking him and trusting him. They soon came to the faraway tree and saw that Moonface had thought of a marvellous idea. He had borrowed Dame Washalot's biggest washing basket and let it down on a rope. Then, as soon as they were all safely in it, he and Silky meant to haul them up to save them the long, long climb. "That's a really good idea," said Joe, delighted. They all climbed in. Well, it was a bit difficult to get the saucepan man in too, but they managed at last, though he seemed to find it most uncomfortable to sit on his saucepans. "Up we go!" shouted Joe as the basket swung upwards through the branches. It ran up smoothly, and the children enjoyed the strange ride. At last they came to a big branch and stepped out onto it. It was quite near Moonface's house at the top. Moonface was there, winding up the rope, a grin on his big, shining face. "How did you like that?" he asked. The saucepan man looked at him anxiously. "Cat?" he said. "Another cat? Dear me, I hope it won't escape into my land. I've got me mice there." "Oh, now he'll be looking for cats again," said Beth, and sure enough, the saucepan man began to peer here and there, calling, "Puss, puss, puss!" "Never mind him," said Moonface. "Go on up the ladder. He wants you to go to tea with him in his funny saucepan-y house." "Come on, saucepan man," called Joe. If you want us to come to tea, we'd better go." The saucepan man heard. He stopped looking for cats and ran up the ladder. With a bound he was through the hole in the cloud and right above. And no sooner had he got out of sight than he began to yell, "Ow! Ooh! Ow! Ow! Whoa!" The children listened in alarm. "Whatever's the matter with him?" said Joe. "Crash! Bang! Clang! Smash!" "He sounds as if he's rolling around on all his kettles and saucepans," said Beth. "What can he be doing?" "Oh! Ow!" shouted the saucepan man above them. "Stop it! Oh, stop it!" "Somebody must be attacking him," cried Joe, and leapt up the ladder. "Come on, everyone, we'll soon send any enemies off." He shot up the ladder, followed by Beth, Franny, and Moonface. They all clambered through the hole in the clouds and stood in the land above. Oh, my goodness me! It was no longer the land of the saucepan man, that tiny little cloud-edged country. It was another land altogether. "Oh, me land's gone!" shrieked the saucepan man. "I didn't know it had. This is somewhere else. Oh!" No wonder he said, "Oh." The bit of the field he was standing on suddenly gave a shiver like a jelly, and then just as suddenly tipped itself up so that it made a hill. The saucepan man rolled down it at top speed, all his pans clattering like cymbals. "Oh, this is rocking land," said Moonface in dismay. "Quick, come back to the ladder and get down the hole before we've forgotten where it is. Hey, saucepan man, come over here to us." "Boss, did you say?" shouted back the saucepan man, picking himself up and looking round. "I can't see a boss. I'd like to catch one, though." "Come here to us. Us! Us!" shouted Joe in despair. "The hole through the clouds is here. We must get back, and quickly." The saucepan man began to run downhill to them, but the ground all around suddenly tipped backwards, and he and the children and Moonface found themselves running downhill away from the hole in the clouds, where the precious ladder was. Well, they tried to stop. They tried to walk back up the sudden hill, but the land tipped up all the more, and in the end they couldn't stand up, but had to lie down. Then they began to roll downhill. How they rolled! Over and over and over and over, with the saucepan man making a dreadful clatter with all his pans. "Ow! Oh, ow!" cried everyone. "We've lost the hole!" shouted Joe, but before he could say any more, he bumped into a bush that knocked all the breath out of him. Soon everyone lay in a heap at the bottom of the hill and tried to get back their breath. "Oh, now we're in a fix," said Beth, dusting herself. "What a very tiresome land to have got into. Does it do this sort of thing all the time, Moonface?" "Oh, yes," said Moonface. "It never stops. It heaves up here and sinks down there and rocks to and fro and gives sudden little jumps. People do say that there's a giant just underneath, trying to throw the land off his back." Oh dear, and we'll find out more about Rocking Land tomorrow. See you then.